Hi everybody, this is Alyssa with the Morgan County Public Library, and I am here with you for the online family craft night. So how this works is you signed up online and you can pick up your bag of supplies at the main branch starting on Monday, November 29th. Yes, that's the right day. And then you'll watch this video to see how you're going to make your crafts. So what we'll do is I'll kind of go through everything that's in the bag. I'll tell you what you need from home because you do need a couple things, and then we'll go over how to make these 4 different ornaments. So the 4 ornaments we're going to make are this Pom-Pom Globe, this little tree button tree ornament. Hold on to this one. A little Christmas tree. Turn around so you can see the star. And also going to make a snowman. So in your bag, we kind of have bagception going on here because you have bags inside of bags inside of bags. But we went ahead and bundled each craft up separately. So the ingredients. The materials you need for the snowman one are all in the same bag. The materials for the button tree, same bag, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to go ahead and get everything out. Be careful when you're taking this home when you're getting it out because the pot for the Christmas tree, it's a little clay pot, so it can potentially break. It does have bubble wrap on it, but we know how things go. So those are those. I'm going to clear my space here. What you'll need from home is you will need a black marker, Sharpie, magic marker, doesn't really matter. And then you will also need glue of some kind. It's your choice if you want to use craft glue, Elmer's glue. I would have a glue stick because it's going to make some of the snowman stuff just a little easier, a little neater. You can also have a hot glue gun, which I have kind of off here to the side because I grabbed the one with the super short extension cord because that's how I roll. But yeah, so you'll need those things. It's also not a bad idea if you have some leftover scraps of like ribbon, or if you have pom-poms at home, or sequins or rhinestones or things like that, because you might want to substitute some of the stuff we gave you for something different. We can kind of talk about that as we go through the steps. So, hydration. And let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through these in terms of kind of the quickest, maybe the easiest, and we're going to kind of build up to the one that might take a little more time, little ones might need a little more help with, that kind of thing. So we're going to start off with that Pom-Pom Globe. So what you have in your bag is you have this little globe, sphere, what have you, that is plastic. And put my trash over there. It pops apart into 2 halves. So all you have to do with this is you take your pom-poms and you can do them one at a time. You can jam them all in there at once, however you want. But you fill up 1/2. It's kind of easier to do 1/2. And then the other half just snaps on. I have to get a little creative, make sure everybody's in there, and then you just want the 2 top halves to match. So that way you just need to string like an ornament hook through it, or again, if you have some ribbon at home, this would be a good time for that. If you wanted to make this a little extra secure, before you snap it together, I'll get it up close so you can show you. You can just take a little bit, I would just use Elmer's liquid glue or just like liquid craft glue. I wouldn't break out the hot glue gun for this, but you can just put a little rim of glue around there and then snap it together to hold it in place. And there's this one. So ta-da, 1 ornament is done. I'm going to set this back here in the bag so it doesn't roll off of my table. The next one we're going to do is we're going to do the button tree. I'm going to show you this because how we do it is we're actually not building it from the trunk up. We're going to build it from the top, so from the star down. So in your bag here you will have a pipe cleaner, And then you'll also have, I'll kind of just hold my bag up. You'll have an assortment of buttons. Now you'll have either 2 yellow or 2 white buttons. That'll be the star on the top of your tree. And then you'll have 1 color of buttons. I happen to have a lot of pink buttons. And then you'll have some brown buttons. I'm gonna get my buttons out here on the table so I can kind of see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna go ahead and sort mine by color. So I've got my brown ones off to the side, I've got my pink ones here, and I've got my 2 little yellow ones. So your pipe cleaner's kind of already folded in half just to fit it in the bag, and that sort of works. So what you're gonna do is you wanna hold the top, because this is gonna make the loop to help attach it to the tree. And you just want to twist a couple times like that. So you have your little loop. So again, we're building from the top down, so we're starting with the 2 buttons at the top. Now you wanna look at your buttons because they might be slightly different sizes, and we want to go smallest to largest. So I'm going to stick my smallest yellow button on first. This button happens to have 4 buttonholes, but we only need to use 2 of them. And we thread that on. So there's that one. And then I'm going to do my next button. This one also happens to be a 4-hole button. And thread it on. So right now we have the star on the top of our tree. So now we're getting to the buttons that are 1 color. And like I said, I happen to have pink ones in mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of stack them up, because I'm putting them on here smallest to largest, but I'm going to stack them up in front of me with the largest buttons on the bottom and then the smallest at the top, so it's easy for me to grab and go. The nice thing is that if you start, putting your buttons on the pipe cleaner and you realize, oh, I may have gotten things out of order, you can just pull them off and start over again. And actually a couple of my buttons are about the same size, so it doesn't really matter what order I put them in. This is one of those times, if you are a crafter and you happen to have buttons at home, if you want to do your buttons in a different color, you can do that. If you want to mix them up and have some rainbow colors, that would be nice too. I am not building my button stack anymore, simply because I'm afraid if I do, it's going to fall over and then it's going to land on the floor and I'm going to have to go chase buttons all over the floor. And I am not interested in doing that. Okay, but I think I've got everything kind of ready to go, so I sort of know what order I want to go in. So I'm going to start with the smallest pink button. Oh man, I managed to get the pipe cleaner in both of the buttonholes at once. Yay me. And then here's another tiny pink button. This one's kind of nice because it's just sort of the same motion over and over again. So once you get a good rhythm going, you can just kind of do this without having to pay too terribly much attention to what you're doing. I'm going to stop and look. Yep. Pleased with things size-wise. Actually, I think I need to do this particular button next. So yes, we're making ornaments for a Christmas tree today. I always like seeing pictures of people's Christmas trees because, I mean, the idea of a Christmas tree is sort of pretty much the same, ornaments, lights, but everyone does their own spin on it. Some people like to do their tree and, one color or a certain color scheme. Like my sister, she has one that's all red and white, which is very pretty, very classy. And then you have me, who I just put whatever I want on it because I like it. Or it's because it's something, that my son has made at school. I think those are my favorite ornaments, are the ones that are handmade. Keep going here with our buttons. We're almost done with our tree. And you don't have to use all the buttons. If you're going along and you're kind of satisfied with a tree that size, you can start putting on the brown buttons that make the trunk. That's your choice. So the nice thing about these crafts too is you can sort of customize them however you want. Uh-oh, I started talking and I lost I threw off my groove. Let's get this back. Okay, there we go. Almost done with my pink buttons. And the last one. So now all I have to do for this one is add on the trunk. So I've got my brown buttons, and again, smallest one on first. Then let's see here, it's this one. The next two are about the same size, so that doesn't really matter. I know I said I was trying to do the ornaments in order of what takes a lot of time and what doesn't. And this one takes a few more minutes, but again, it's a pretty simple process that you're going through. So, and the nice thing about this one too is, again, if you're a crafter, even if you're not, you might have enough of these items around your house. If you wanted to make a lot of these little Christmas tree ornaments and give them for gifts, that would be nice too. So once you're done, you just twist the pipe cleaner at the bottom, like you did at the top, and then you would cut the extra off. Of course, I do not have any scissors handy at the moment, so I'm just going to sort of keep twisting and spiraling mine around. And that works too. So here is our little Christmas tree. So 2 of our 4 ornaments. We're going to go set this one aside. Next, we are going to do the little Christmas tree pot. So let's see here. We'll get that one out. And again, this one has the clay pot in it, so do be kind of careful as you take it out. And it's already painted for you, ready to go. So this one, it's not that it's complicated, but there's a little bit of a step that you kind of need to take a moment and prepare yourself for. So what we're going to do first, and actually I'm going to get my marker just to make my life easier and so I don't mess this up. You'll see how in a minute. So I've got my ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half, and the lights went off. Ah! I'm coming. Ha ha ha. Okay, so fun fact about the program room, the lights in here are motion censored, and if you forget to push a certain button, it doesn't turn off that motion sensor. So I wasn't moving enough, so it went dark. So yay, live YouTube. I could record it, re-record this, but no. So I've got my ribbon here. I'm gonna kind of loop it around my marker that I have here. Again, this is just, you'll see why in a minute, because I'm going to put the star bead on, and you may have to kind of fold the ribbon a little bit to get it through the bead. But I did this so I didn't pull the bead all the way through and then end up, with the bead all over the floor. So the next part is we're going to put the clay pot on here. So again, you may have to fold the ribbon a little bit and twist it just a bit to get it in here. Then you just kind of pull it through. So here is where you kind of gotta watch what you're doing. So we have enough of the ribbon here to hang it on the tree, and we've got our star. What we need to do is we need to tie a couple of knots on the inside to hold the ribbon in place. You can tie a couple of knots. You can also, if you want, take some hot glue and kind of dab it in the inside and kind of hold the ribbon down that way. I'm going to do the knot tying method, mainly because I don't have scissors handy right now to do a lot of trimming, but I'm going to tie a couple of good, I don't know if they're double knots, square knots. I'm just making some loops and crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. I'm sticking my tongue out a fair amount because I feel like that is an essential part of crafting. If you're not sticking your tongue out, to help something hold the right way, you're not doing it right. So here's that. All right. And you just, again, you want to make the knots big enough just so you don't pull the ribbon through. If you'd like, I'm also going to make another little knot at the top here. I'm not going to. I didn't leave myself enough room. But you can make a little knot at the top here to help hold it in place. So now that you have this, our tree needs to be decorated. So in your kit, you have these little rhinestone stickers. So all you have to do is peel them off and stick them on the tree. It's as easy as that. I will say they are tiny. So this might be something, you know, grown-up might have to help a little one get them off here. If you happen to have some tweezers, that's an idea. Or this is another great time to raid your craft stash. Maybe you have some bigger rhinestones. Sequins, if you want, you could do ribbons on it. If you're feeling particularly fancy, maybe you could get out some paint and paint your own ornaments. But you can make it however you want. So here's one I already did. I'm gonna leave this one aside in case I need an extra for something. So that's the third ornament. We are now going to move to the last one. And hopefully we'll get it done before we end up in the dark again. So we are now making, excuse me, our snowman. So we have all of our pieces for that. So we have pom-poms, we have a little carrot nose, we have some sheet music, and this sheet music happens to be for Frosty the Snowman, an extra circle, canning ring, and some ribbon. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to glue the sheet music to this circle. It doesn't have to be a green circle, it's just what I have, but this is just to help give it some stability. And I like to use glue sticks for things like this, so. We'll get that on there. Line that up. Okay. So there's that. I'm also going to go ahead, trying to think, what order do I want to do this? So I'm just going to set my ring over top of this just so I can kind of see how it lines up in the ring. I'm not going to glue it to the ring yet, but I'm doing this just so I can get an idea of where to put the nose, the eyes, and the mouth. So I'm going to start with the nose. And for this, I'm just going to use some liquid glue. I'm kind of looking at things. I think I would like the nose right there. Then I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw some eyes and a little mouth based on where I have my nose. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Now I have my nose there. I kind of see where things will line up. So I'm going to do 2 circles for the eyes. I'm going to have to fix that one because that eye got a little big. And then I think I'm going to do 4 little circles to make a smile. So there is the face for my snowman. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to glue this snowman face into the ring. So what you'll want to do is either using your hot glue gun or again your liquid glue. I'm just going to use some liquid glue. Is you want to put that around the inside rim here. So let's do that. I closed it, need to reopen it. Come on. And then we just want to put that down here and kind of help hold it in place. See, there's the face. I'm going to set it down to dry for a second. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be using our ribbons to make a headband. So we have the headband and the pom-poms for the earmuffs. There we go. And then the other ribbon is for a loop. Now, there are a couple different ways you can do this. So for the first example, what I did was I took one piece of ribbon and I ended up cutting it a little bit and I glued it directly to the lid, glued the pom-poms on. Might have to do a little bit more gluing. I would definitely use hot glue for this part. I didn't, and you can see what's happening. And then I took the other piece of ribbon, I made a loop, and I glued it in two different places. I actually glued it to the inside of the lid. Then I put a little bit more right here on the rim and pushed it up to help hold this upward, so it would hang on the tree a little more nicely. The other way you can do this is you actually only need one ribbon. So we've got red and we've got green. And like I said, if you have ribbon at home and you want to do a different ribbon for your snowman, have at. I think I'm going to do red. I think I like the red with this. So what we can do for this one is we're going to kind of make the headband and the ornament hook in one. So instead of gluing it flat here, you're just going to glue to the side. I'm going to reach over here with my hot glue gun and do. Okay. Got to work fast because this hot glue happens to dry hot, or dry quickly, I should say. Dry hot. Oh my goodness, y'all. So we're going to glue that side down. And remember, hot glue is hot. That's why they call it that. Definitely a good idea to have a grown-up around, even for the grown-ups. Yeah. I've got little stringies everywhere, but that's okay. So see, so now we have the big old headband, and then we're gonna glue, my gosh, I have strings everywhere, guys, the pom-poms on. So I'm just gonna put hot glue directly on the pom-pom. I will pluck the strings off later, glue it to one side. If you do decide to use just regular liquid glue or like craft glue, you will need to hold this in place for a little while, for a couple minutes actually, just so it starts to adhere. That is the nice thing about hot glue. Once it sticks, it's stuck. So it kind of lets you get things done a little bit quicker. But again, just use what you have. Oh man, it's a big string. That's okay. And there he is. So, our little snowman with his little hat, or his little earmuffs. And you have now made 4 ornaments perfect for your Christmas tree or to give someone as a gift. I would love to see pictures of what your finished product turned out like, so please share those with us. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by the library and ask. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Bye, everybody.